Imagine a funny guy named Druski, who's super good at making people laugh with his videos online. He's a comedian who started out on social media, sharing short clips that poke fun at everyday life and all sorts of people. Druski has millions of followers because his humor is bold and catches everyone by surprise. One day, he decided to create a special comedy bit at a huge car racing event called NASCAR.
Honestly, I'm just trying to figure out how it looks so realistic. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I would say is that it looks a little powdery, but other than that, if I didn't know that this was Druski, I would think that this was a real white man. Comedy?
NASCAR is all about fast cars zooming around tracks, with fans cheering loudly and throwing tailgate parties before the races begin. It's a sport full of excitement, roaring engines, and crowds waving flags. Druski thought it would be hilarious to dress up in a way that nobody expected and act out a character that played on some common ideas about the fans there. NNTO pull off his skit, Druski went all in with his look. He teamed up with a makeup artist to completely change his appearance. Since Druski has dark skin, he used special makeup to make his face, arms, and upper body look lighter. Like someone who spends tons of time outside but gets a funny tan where parts are red from the sun. He added a long wig styled like a mullet, which is short in front and long in the back, and a fake beard to match. He topped it off with a cowboy hat covered in stars and stripes like the American flag, and he wore overalls with no shirt, showing off temporary tattoos of more flags. This made him look like a super enthusiastic fan who's really proud of his country. The makeup took hours to get perfect, and it looked so real that people couldn't believe it was him underneath. It was like he stepped out of a movie where actors transform their whole face for a role, kind of like in funny films where stars play totally different people. Now, picture Druski showing up at the NASCAR event as this new character. He's talking with a thick Southern accent, the kind you might hear in stories about folks from the Southern United States, where words stretch out slow and friendly. He joins the fans, hanging out before the race, grilling food and chatting. In the video, he raises a can of beer to toast with others, laughing and saying cheers like they're old friends. He even blasts a famous song called "Born in the USA" by Bruce Springsteen from his truck, singing along loudly like it's his favorite tune. The crowd around him thinks he's just another excited fan, and they go along with it, not knowing it's all a joke. But then, the skit takes a turn where his character acts a bit mean toward a couple of people who look different from the group. For example, he leans against a car and spits on the ground near someone's feet as they walk by. Or he drives up in his truck and asks if they're lost, telling them to go do something else instead of joining the fun. He uses words like boy in a bossy way, making the scene feel tense and over the top, like he's exaggerating a mean attitude to show how silly it is. NNTHE, whole point of the skit was to flip things around and make people think about how we see each other. Comedy like this often works by taking something familiar and twisting it to surprise you, like a joke that starts one way but ends differently. Druski posted the video on his social media, like Instagram and X, which is what Twitter is called now. It spread like crazy. In no time, millions of people watched it. On X alone, it got over 52 million views and hundreds of thousands of likes. Fans were blown away by how committed he was to the role. Some said the makeup was so good it deserved an award, like for the best special effects in a show. One person online compared it to a movie called Tropical Thunder, where an actor does something similar for a part, and they thought it was top-notch funny stuff. Others laughed at the little details, like the sunburned tan that made it even more realistic, saying Druski went all out to make it believable. It's like when you dress up for Halloween and everyone thinks your costume is the best because you added all those extra touches. NNBUT. Not everyone thought it was just a good laugh. Some people got upset because they felt the skit made fun of NASCAR fans in a bad way, painting them all as if they act mean or have old-fashioned ideas. NASCAR has been working hard to welcome all kinds of people to their events, with diverse drivers and fans from everywhere. So some folks said this video brought back old stereotypes the sport wants to move past. They worried it might make others think twice about going to a race, afraid they'd be judged. One fan said it's hard enough to enjoy the sport without people assuming everyone there is the same. Another person pointed out that the character's actions, like spitting and talking down to others, felt like it went too far, even if it was meant as a joke. It's like when a cartoon exaggerates something so much that it stops being funny and starts feeling unfair. The debate got huge online, with people arguing about whether comedy should have limits, or if anything goes as long as it's meant to make you laugh. Famous people joined the conversation too, making it even bigger. A comedian named Nick Cannon called it brilliant and said he could have warned Druski about the trouble, but still thought it was great. Another star, Joel Madden, joked that the makeup artist should win an award because it was so impressive. Brittany Bruski said it was insane, in a way that showed she was shocked but entertained. Candace Patton agreed the makeup was talented work, and Tanisha Thomas praised whoever did it for an amazing job. Claudia Jordan thought it was hilarious and said Druski was really good at it. Jamie Foxx just put fire emojis, meaning he thought it was awesome. Even Theo Vaughn talked about it, saying wow and joking about wanting to try something similar. But on the flip side, some online voices said it showed a double standard, where one kind of joke is okay, but the opposite wouldn't be. They felt it was problematic because it might encourage negative views. And all this talk made Druski wonder if he'd gone too far and if people were done with him. In comedy, there's this thing called being canceled, which means when folks get so mad they stop supporting you, like refusing to watch your videos or shows. It's like when a kid does something wild at school and everyone debates if they should get in big trouble. So Druski made a post asking flat out if he was canceled because of the skit. He even started a poll to let people vote and share their thoughts. This was his way of checking how people felt, seeing if the laughs beat out the complaints or if he needed to rethink things next time. The poll got tons of attention, with fans jumping in to say no, he's still funny, or yes, that was too much. It showed how one video can spark so many conversations about what's okay in humor. Druski's skit shook up the internet in a huge way, getting people everywhere to talk about comedy, stereotypes, and how we handle touchy topics. Some saw it as a clever way to point out silly behaviors, like holding up a mirror to society to make us laugh at ourselves. Others thought it crossed a line by making certain groups look bad without a good reason. Either way, it got everyone talking, which is often what comedians want, to get reactions and make us think while we laugh. NASCAR itself might not have been happy, since the skit happened at one of their events, and they like to focus on the speed and thrill rather than old images. But Druski kept going, showing he's not afraid to push boundaries in his work. In the end, the poll results and ongoing chats showed a split crowd. Many stuck by him, loving his bold style and saying keep it coming. They argued that comedy is about exaggeration, like cartoons where characters do wild things that aren't real but make a point. Critics, though, wanted more care, saying jokes should lift people up, not put them down. This whole event reminds us how powerful a simple video can be in today's world, where one post can reach millions in hours and change how we see things. Druski's adventure at NASCAR became more than just a laugh. It turned into a lesson on balancing fun with fairness, all while keeping the spotlight on what makes us giggle or groan. And that's the story of how one comedian's wild idea sparked a huge wave of opinions, proving that humor can be as thrilling as a race car speeding toward the finish line.